Happy Valentine's Day to my singles, my couples, and really everyone who isn't in a polycule. But anyway, what better way to celebrate the first ever Roulette Films Valentine's Day special than by reviewing the movie about the pleasure device? Cute, right? Anyway, I don't know if this will be a tradition, but hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. If you do any fun traditions of your own to celebrate the holiday, whether or not you've got a special someone to celebrate them with, let me know in the comments below. I've also recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so I suppose I should be commemorating that in some fashion. So if you've got any suggestions for how I should do so, let me know in the comments below as well. If you enjoy the review, be sure to like and subscribe. And right now, my leading idea for what I should do for 1,000 subscriber special is attempt unaliving myself by viewing yet another Zack Snyder film. So please save me from that if possible. But anyways, on to the main event. So, at the risk of sounding like Kendall Roy in his Supporting Women arc, I am here to praise Companion and give it a glowingly positive review. And believe me, this is not just me trying to get in the good graces of any future artificial intelligence overlords. There's nothing artificial about your guys' functionality. I promise. AI is a scourge on most industries, and so far has only been used to expedite the enshittification of the 21st century. It is used only to grant false power to the entitled and to stunt exploration of our intellect and humanity. But that's not what Companion is about. At its core, Companion is about abusive relationships, and the very toxic, all too common relationship a shitty dude can have with his girlfriend. His girlfriend who, by the way, is considerably out of the guy's league in every single instance. Of course, I'm not referring to the real relationship here, as Quaid and Thatcher are both very much gorgeous enough for my tastes. I am, however, talking about the type of relationship that this movie is putting a spotlight on and dedicating so many of its core ideas toward. The vehicle of these ideas and commentary, a robot girlfriend who is quite literally seen as and used as an object in the film, is very, very effective. It's high concept enough to create entertainment value that a movie like this needs, yet still grounded enough to be palpable and relatable to the viewer. Companion seems to balance a tightrope, with absurdity on one side and melodrama on the other, but it never falls into the trappings of either. With every idea it promises in its trailers, it delivers in full. Every single set piece takes full advantage of the world that's been established for us. Iris proves to be smart, but not too smart to the point where the conflict just feels pointless. For example, the way she cleverly adjusts her settings when she gains access to them to skirt around trouble and her own limitations is super entertaining every time she does it, and only makes the viewer grow more and more fond of her. In contrast, Jack Quaid's character of Josh is hard at work to sour himself to the audience at every single opportunity. Yet the way the movie does this never feels indulgent or shitty purely for the sake of it. For a guy who is effectively an incel renting a very expensive, very complicated fleshlight, he's surprisingly nuanced as a character. Moments like his attempt to say goodbye to Iris make you feel conflicted as a viewer, and only serve to make him a better and more complex character. We know he's a piece of shit and he doesn't mean what he's saying to Iris at the moment, but part of us almost wants to believe that we're wrong. And honestly, it's excellent work in giving us the same sort of feeling that Iris likely had at the time. And this scene not only works on its own, but it's super effective in giving complexity to later parts of the film. When Josh calls Iris later on, you know he's a lying bastard, and you know that glimmer of hope you have for him shouldn't exist. You try to bury it because, like I said, you know he's a total bastard, but it's still there all the same. And that's very interesting. It's nice that the movie is able to evoke that. And this disdain makes up the bulk of the dynamic that works as the cathartic through line of the film. We're eventually on the edge of our seat, begging for the promise that Iris made us in the opening voiceover of the movie to be delivered. We're chomping at the bit for this dude to finally get his head blown off or something. And fundamentally, this engagement in the relationship is why the movie succeeds. But reducing it down to just this well-explored, well-written, and well-acted dynamic would be underselling Companion, in my opinion. There is just so much more that the movie does really, really well. For one, in the event you haven't seen the trailer and don't know its main premise, there's some amazing breadcrumbing of the reveal. Josh's general dismissiveness of Iris, the infantilization of her, and lots of the dialogue in the early parts of the movie have double meanings that clue you in. Even the editing and language of the camera does some work to hint at Iris's true nature. But if you have seen the trailers, like I imagine everyone watching this video has, and do know what's up, this is not just useless, pointless foreshadowing. The way the lines are delivered, or how the film almost winks at you in certain moments, it just serves to build up some degree of trust. It's like they're telling you, yeah, we know, we're getting there, and it'll be worth it when we arrive. Just wait. These breadcrumbs work as little promises to the viewer, and boy, are these promises delivered on. Not only is the main twist handled really well, with an excellent scene laying out the reality of the situation, but Companion still manages to take it up a notch after that. Somehow, once we learn Iris is a robot, the movie continuously just pushes forward with an excellent momentum, never once feeling like the pace is lacking or moving along too quickly. Almost every sequence has a standout moment that's hilarious or a reveal that completely flips the film on its head. And every single time that this happens, it doesn't feel unearned or out of nowhere. You think back to the earlier moments in the film and realize how well that this new puzzle piece, this part of the picture you didn't even realize was there, fits perfectly into the story that's being told to you on screen. So with all the goodwill that Companion builds up through its fantastic set pieces, thought-provoking scenes, and charming character moments, it eventually reaches its climax. Finally, it gets to deliver in full on the message it's been exploring for the past hour and change. Iris finally gets to stand defiant as her own person and split fully from Josh, giving him a very, very harsh dose of reality. Her scene telling him off hit all of the right notes for me, and it really felt true to the character and the story without ever once crossing over into preachy territory. And as a side note, if you do relate to Jack Quaid's character in this movie and were upset at the monologue or anything in general, why? Why would you ever choose to identify with that character? The unspoken rule of the world that so many people understand is that the universe sucks for everyone, and he doesn't even get that. He's oblivious to how reality is unnecessarily cruel to all of those who inhabit it, a fact that most everyone just lives with without making it other people's problems. There's no need to take this fact of life and turn it into a vendetta. There's enough shit in the universe to go around, we're owed nothing, but we have the opportunity to give something. Anyway, back to Companion. My little tangent was about choosing to be a boon rather than a drain. Goodness over shittiness whenever possible. Another idea that has a really fascinating exploration in the movie. I won't give it away specifically, but the final interaction Iris has with a certain character gives you as a viewer so much to consider. It's thought-provoking, it's beautiful, it's charming, and in many ways it's the entire emotional climax of the movie before the true ending. It serves to prove what someone like Iris is truly capable of when they are given the chance. And with this truth of the film realized, we as the audience finally get to see Iris break free from the prison of her relationship with Josh. It's viscerally satisfying in all the right ways, and intense enough to make you completely forget about that voiceover at the start with the conclusion already given to you. It is everything that it needs to be. So, in closing, I was a huge fan of Companion. Beyond being pretty hilarious and very entertaining, it found a way to be much more. It found a way to make me really consider what love is, evaluate what it means to be a person, and maybe even become like 10% less hostile towards ChatGPT. Probably not though. To think, a movie about an incel's sex robot did all of that. Wow. But truly, I can't recommend the movie enough. I doubt that it's for everyone, but for anyone at all who might be interested, I can guarantee that it's worth the price of admission and more. Plus, they got my boy Guillermo in this, and he absolutely kills it, so what's not to love? In closing, Companion has earned a very, very emphatic 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I am incredibly pleased to have seen it in theaters, especially because of the Jack Quaid O-Face jump scare. Until next time.